Good afternoon and welcome to the live webinar on My Mission Admission, your gateway to the dream career, course and college. We will be discussing in detail about all the courses being offered at Gian Jyoti Institute and the script of engineering. Our today's mentor will also help the students to decide as in which stream they should choose and why, what are the job prospects of all the courses, and much more. To give you more insight about this prestigious institute, we have with us Ms. Tanvi Mehta. Hello ma'am, how are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And Ms. Tanvi, she has an experience of 9 years and has done Masters in Technology and MBA. And I welcome you, Ms. Tanvi, to My Mission Admission live webinar.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So, without much ado, let us start with our today's presentation, today's webinar. What is it that you would like to tell to our students about Gian Jyoti and the different courses that they offer?
Good morning, dear students. Today we'll be discussing about, after plus 2, when you complete your 12th standard, you have many of doubts, which stream you should opt, what should be your career, how should you go with life. You can, you are, in a total question mark scenario. Today I'll be discussing how you should choose your career, what kind of course you should opt, and what are the different kinds of streams in engineering, what are the benefits of all the engineering streams, and what are the job prospects for all the types of streams we offer in Gian Jyoti group of institutions. So I'll be sharing and we'll be discussing with the help of a presentation. Let me share with you. In Gian Jyoti group of institutions, we have the courses like BTech. In case of BTech, we have the streams like CSC, Electronics and Communication.
The presentation has not been shared as yet.
It is not shared.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's shared, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay. In Gian Jyoti group of institutions, we have the courses like BTech. In case of BTech, we have various streams like computer science and engineering, electronics and communication engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical and electronics engineering, and we have civil engineering. Apart from BTech curriculum, we have MBA, that is management. In management, we have the fields like HR, human resource, we have marketing and production, we have finance, and we have HR. Now, before after completing our plus 2, we are in a doubt. All students are not able to understand what kind of career they should choose. So one of the hardest and most exciting choices you will ever make is your career. Although chance may play a part, come prepared. So there are some rules a student should follow before choosing the career. The first rule is students should choose a career that is something you really like to do. What are your interests? What you want to do in life? Based on that, you should be able to select your career. Second rule is do your research and choose carefully and thoughtfully. Third rule is make it meaningful to you. Whatever career you choose, that should sound something meaningful to you. It's not that without any interest, without taking any good decision, you are selecting your career. So these are the basic rules you should follow before selecting your career. Then what are the factors which affect the career choices? First of all, the foremost factor is your interest. One should have a strong interest in your career or in the line which you are choosing. Suppose if you want to be an engineer and you have a keen interest of designing new things, you have innovative mind, you want to really produce something different, so in that case you can opt engineering. But if you have more interest in sitting in office, managing the entire office, planning, scheduling, in that case you should opt management. So basically the most important factor is your interest. One should always select your career depending on the interest. Then you have your skills. Depending on your skills, whatever skills, in which whatever thing you are good enough, you should select your career accordingly. Then one should always check your aptitude. If, depending on your aptitude means you have that skills of completing that career or not. If you have the good sense of knowledge, or you can pursue with that career of choice, then only you should opt. Then you should also look on the factor like people skills. Whatever skills you have, actually in practical, you should see what skills, you have the types of skills, in which type of things you are strong enough. Seeing that into consideration, you should choose your career. Then you can also look into the factor that is experience. If for example, the student is diploma holder, or the student has some practical knowledge, or has worked a part-time job, depending on that experience, if the person has a bit of experience, then based on that, student can select the career. Then there is the another important factor, that is family traditions. Like for example, we usually see the doctor's family always prefer that their child should go for MBBS. That is because that is their traditional business. So for example, if somebody's father is engineer, or a doctor, or a manager, depending on the father's profession or family's tradition, a student can opt the specified career. Then the another important factor is personality. Like for example, if the person is good enough in looking, if he or she has good personality, then I think he should opt for some management course, or some HR course, like that. Then you should also look for life goals and work values. What are your goals in life? Everybody, every child has a dream. When we are in school, we have a dream. Say, for example, I always had a dream to become an engineer. So today I am an engineer. So, following your goal, depending on your hobbies, depending on your dreams, one should opt that particular course. So these are some of the factors which affect the career choices. So students should look and focus on these factors before selecting your particular career. Then one should always explore your interests. First of all, before selecting your career, you should investigate, or if you are real, whether you are conventional, whether you have an engineering mind, whether you are social, whether you are artistic. So depending on your interests, you should opt for that particular course. Say for example, if somebody has an artistic mind, or he has a mind of generating something innovative, new implementations, designs, then one can opt for engineering. If somebody has interest in fine arts, then can go accordingly with that kind of, can pursue with that kind of career. So basically, one should always admire and look after the interest before selecting the career. Now, what is the state of mind of a student when he comes to the engineering? Or you can say, when the student takes the admission in engineering, one thought that starts arising in your mind: what is the engineering all about? What is my future in that particular field as an engineer? So today I'll be discussing the all types of streams of engineering we offer in Gian Jyoti, why we should opt that particular one type of stream, what are the job prospects for that particular stream. After completing your engineering, these are the 5 types of categories, or 5 types of sectors in which you can pursue after completing your graduation. Before choosing engineering, one should know that what are the future aspects after completing the engineering. So first is the private sector, that after completing the engineering, students are placed in the campus itself. Companies come in the campus, they select the student based on the written test, interview, they hire the student and they give the job. So that comes under the private sector aspect. Then we have the government sector. Instead of going into private sector, if the student want to opt for the government job, so he or she can prepare right from the third year of the engineering, and before the completion of engineering, he or she should be able to give the exams of government jobs, so he can also opt for the government sector. Then the third option is, after completing the BTech, or you can say graduation, a student can also opt for higher studies, that is the Masters of Technology, that is MTech, or the students can opt for management, that is management professional course. So the third option is this. Then we have the fourth option, that is after completing the engineering, one can opt for the own business. This category will be chosen as I discussed before. Some students have the family traditions or family business they already have of their father or ancestrals. So they can join after completing their graduation, they can join their own family business. Or they can open up some, franchisee of related to your engineering products and all. The fourth type of category is specialization in your own field. Now, after completing the engineering, we have the further specialized courses in that engineering. Now, that depends if you want to do the job in that specialized area. For example, civil engineer wants to do job in construction only. So, for that, he can opt for a special course that is offered for the construction after completing the BTech. Same is applied to all the streams. We have the different types of specialized courses which the student can opt. The last option is after completing the graduation, a student can opt for teaching profession, like for teaching, and this is a kind of noble profession which generally the students can also consider after completing their graduation. So these are the five areas in which the students can have the option after completing their graduation. Areas where high quality of engineers are required, we have mechanical engineers, civil engineers, electrical engineers, electronics engineers, and computer engineers. These are the areas where high types of quality engineers are required. First of all, I'll be discussing the mechanical engineering. As you can all see in the presentation or in the slide, mechanical engineers generally deal with the automobiles, that is cars, machineries, home appliances, aircrafts. These are the areas in which mechanical engineering students always deal with. Now, what is this mechanical engineering? Mechanical engineering is one of the largest, broadest, and oldest engineering disciplines. It uses the principle of mathematics, physics, and material science. It is the branch of engineering that involves design, production, and operation of machinery. Mechanical engineering has the tremendous scope in industries such as automobile industry. They can opt for cement industry, steel industries, power sectors, hydraulics, manufacturing plants, drilling, mining industries, oiling and gas industries, aeronautical industry, biotechnology, nanotechnology, and many more. So these are the types of engineering which a mechanical engineering student can opt. What are the types of jobs for mechanical engineers? They have the job profiles such as design and research in any kind of company, production engineering, quality control or quality assurance, sales and marketing, procuring, material handling, administration. These are the some of the key activities associated with practicing mechanical engineers. These are some of the departmental projects which are made or accomplished by the mechanical engineers of Gian Jyoti group of institutions. These are the projects which our students have made. First one is ride on lawn mower. That is, it is a kind of rickshaw which is, or you can say a kind of pulley which moves into a big sort of gardens where the old people cannot walk. So if anybody wants to roam around in the garden, so it is a kind of lawn mower. Then we have battery operated rickshaw. In this is a kind of rickshaw which runs with the help of a battery. So these are the projects. Now, what are the job prospects or areas of jobs for mechanical engineers? We can see the mechanical engineers all over in locomotive sectors. In locomotives, engineers are required. Mechanical engineers are required for the constructional part of your the outer looks of your locomotives. Then we require the mechanical engineers in case of machineries, all side of motors, engines. So all the big machines which we use in our life or industries, we require the mechanical engineers to manufacture that. Then we require the mechanical engineers in robotics as well. Now, in case of robotics, we the engineers of electronics and electrical, they basically provide or make this circuitry part of the robotics, and the programming is done with the help of CSC, that is computer science engineering students. But the outer structure of the robot or the movement part of the robot, what sort of wheel, motor, power supply is to be given to the robot for the actual movement, that is designed by the mechanical engineer. Then we have the mechanical engineers for selecting the right kind of material in the constructional part, where the civil engineers make the big buildings. Mechanical engineers are involved in the same projects for guiding them to select the correct material they require. Then we have the mechanical engineers. We require them in case of home appliances like refrigerators, air conditioners, microwave ovens. So these are the types of work where the mechanical engineer is supposed to do. We require the mechanical engineers in the aircrafts also. The external part of the aircrafts, the all the parts, components to be assembled, motors, shafts, gears. These are to be handled by the mechanical engineers. Then we also require them in marine engineering. After completing your graduation, only a mechanical engineer can opt for such kind of specialized engineering, that is marine engineering. Next, we move on to the other stream of engineering, that is electrical engineering. We also call it as electrical and electronics engineering. In case of electrical engineering, basically, if I define the electrical engineering in one line, it means that to manipulate the power. This is the one line definition of electrical engineering. Now, what is electrical engineering? Electrical engineering is the branch of engineering science that studies the uses of electricity and the equipment for power generation and the distribution and the control of machines and communication. What are the marvels of electrical engineering? You can see the transformers, antennas, towers of electricity. As we see all such things in our daily routine lives. Now the basic task of electrical engineering is to generate the electricity, to transfer the electricity, and to distribute them into the required areas. That is the basic task of electrical engineering. What is the scope of electrical engineering? It is one of the core fields of engineering, so it is always evergreen in terms of scope and job prospects. Electrical engineering is the heart of whole engineering discipline, and therefore its scope will never fade even many years from now. Now, why to take this electrical and electronics engineering? It is because we can see that all the daily usage of devices like home appliances, electronic gadgets, computers, machineries, all such things can only work with the help of electricity. So that electricity part is generated and discovered by the electrical engineers. Electrical engineering jobs represent over 25% of the available jobs in engineering field, or you can say in the market, they have the place of 25%. In India, 30% of the government jobs are from electrical engineering sectors. Electrical engineering also have the skill of problem solving. They can think over, and they have the ability to solve the circuits and to solve the problem throughout. These are some of the labs we have in electrical engineering department of Gian Jyoti. We have a power system lab. Students in the lab work practically. Whatever they study theoretically, they have been taught in the labs to apply that theoretical skills on the actual type of machines which are there in the industries. We have power electronics lab. These are some of the projects which are accomplished by the electrical engineering students of Gian Jyoti. We have the project that is propeller display. It is a kind of display in which, it is a site of display. Once the alphabets are displayed, after giving a time interval between each alphabet, one will visualize it as the text is rotating continuously. That is actually based on the principle of line of sight. Then we have the other project that is portable cooler. Now this cooler is made, first of all, it is made with the help of the waste material which is available in the market, or we just keep the waste material at home. Consuming that waste material, this portable cooler has been made by the students. It is a brilliant and the good idea, good initiative which is being taken by the electrical engineering department students. The already running project, the students of Gian Jyoti are working on the live project. They are making the hydraulic system with the help of water. They will be generating the electricity. This project is still in process. They are working on this project. These are the job prospects, or you can say the electrical engineers. They are found working in control rooms of dams. We have the big dams where water supply has been given to all over the entire country or India. So we have the control rooms for controlling the dams. So electrical engineers are required in the control rooms. We require the electrical engineers in the power generation in the space shuttle. When the shuttle goes into the space, it consumes the sunlight, and after consuming that, with the help of photovoltaic cells, that particular light is converted into electricity, which is produced to be supplied to the space shuttles. These are different disciplines of electrical engineering. In your electrical engineering, you will be dealing with power, signal processing, microelectronics, telecommunication, control system, instrumentation. These are all the kind of subjects, or you can say the fields, which you will be getting the knowledge into the department when you will be opting electrical engineering. These are the career options. For private sector, you can go for industries like infrastructures, highways, airports. You can go in design, development, and test electronic systems, devices, and equipments. The electrical engineering student can opt for robotics and automation, water resources, dams, and hydraulic structures. Then they can also go for construction planning and management. For public sectors, we have SAIL, BHEL, NTPC, NHPC, RITE, HAL, NAL, oil sectors, ONGC. These are all big, big giants of government sectors, which the electrical engineering can opt. As I discussed earlier, if the student want to go for government jobs, so they can apply these kind of public sectors. Now these are the top electrical private companies and in India, that is Bharat Heavy Electronics Limited, Alstom, ABB, Siemens, Cromptons, Bajaj Electricals, Schindler Electrical, Wipro, Kelvin. So these are the types of companies which the students can opt for. I'm just discussing all the types of streams of engineering. A student should know what is there in particular stream, because if the student will not know what is the engineering all about, he or she will not be able to decide he is good in which type of stream, or you can say he is good in which type of, he is having interest in which type of engineering.
That's very right, ma'am.
So let's discuss further. That is electronics and communication department. I have earlier discussed the two engineering streams, that is mechanical and electrical. Now I'm moving to the third stream, that is electronics and communication engineering. What is electronics engineering? Electronics engineering is about electronics and how different electrical components like microprocessors, RAM, etc. communicate with each other. Electronics is an evergreen branch. We use electronic gadgets and equipments in our day-to-day life. So a student can opt electronics stream because without electronics, we can do nothing in our day-to-day life. These are some of the major these are some of the major subjects or fields you will be studying in electronics communication engineering. that is digital communication, control systems, wireless, microprocessors, analog communication. So these subjects are all related to the communication, how we communicate. Now I am talking to you, this is all because of communication. So all the gadgets used, the equipments, technology used, all these things come under your electronics communication engineering. Now, electronics and communication engineering have job profiles like research, design, develop, and test precision components and systems, developing the way electricity is used to control the equipments. Core companies of electronics are Intel, Samsung Electronics, Sony, Toshiba, Philips, Texas Instrument, LG Electronics, Nokia, Cisco, AMD, HP, IBM. These are some of the companies which the student can get the job after completing the electronics. Softwares used for electronics engineering are MATLAB, VHDL, LabVIEW, Antenna. These are some of the softwares. This is the research lab we have in Electronics Engineering Department of Gian Jyoti Group of Institution, that is National Instrumentation Research Lab. This is the largest and the biggest and the costlier lab all over the India. Very few colleges have this NI lab software because it is very costly. In this lab, you can actually live test the projects. Whatever innovative idea comes into the mind of the student, he or she can generate the circuit of that particular idea and can check on the software. If that software gives the test result okay, then only the student can actually implement that circuit into a live project. So basically, this is a very good software. These are some of our students working on live projects. Students have accomplished many good projects in this department, like line following robots, DTMF based robots, then home automation system, then mobile operated light control system, clap operated light. Then we have edge detecting robot. These types of robots are basically used for the handicapped people. This circuit can be put into the wheelchair of the a handicapped person. He or she will not fall because this circuit will keep on telling the danger part for the handicapped person. So it is very good project. These are some of the other labs in electronics and communication engineering. Then the core companies, some of them I've already discussed in the previous slides. These are the industries: Intel, Havells, Philips. Might some few names you might be aware of: Toshiba, Nokia, LG Electronics, Airtel, Vodafone. So these are the companies. Next, we are moving on to fourth stream of engineering, that is computer science and engineering. This course actually helps you to understand the significance and pervasiveness of computers in today's society and economy. Teach you how computers really operate and how they are designed. This stream introduces you to get conceptual knowledge of computers in depth, to design animations, video gaming, and much more logical programs. The computer science engineering students deal with such kind of jobs. Right, if we look into the previous scenario, 71% of the new jobs in science and engineering will be for computer specialist or the computer science engineering students. These are the core areas of jobs for computer science engineering students, that is software development, software engineering, database administration, database programming, information technology, network administration, system administration, internet engineering, and web development. Next, we are moving on to the next type of stream, that is civil engineering. This is a kind of engineering which deals with the actually construction and manufacture of huge buildings. Sounds interesting, you know. Now, what is this civil engineering? Civil engineering is the application of physical and scientific principles, and its history is intricately linked to the knowledge of structures, material science, geography, geology, social, hydrology, environment, mechanics, and other fields. Now, civil engineering is one of the oldest engineering career fields which the students generally opt. Civil engineers are changing the world. They work with smart and inspiring people to invent, design, and build things that matter. Civil engineers are wherever people build anything. Some work in offices or labs, and many work at constructional sites. The need for civil engineers is expected to grow faster than average compared to other occupations. Civil engineering is a diverse field. Most of specialists fall under the categories of structural, environment, geotechnical, water resources, transportation, constructional, and urban areas. Now, these are the areas in which the students can go for their job, or wherein you can say that after completing your engineering, you can work in these areas or these industries, depending on your interest again. In case of structures, engineers design the whole kind of big structures to support their own weight and the load that they share and carry. Structures are designed to resist natural forces such as wind, earthquakes, extreme temperature, hurricanes, and other natural and human made forces. Examples like building, dams, highways. So basically, in these buildings like dams, highways, structuring part of these things, the students can go. In case of environmental, we talk about the dams parts, the water supply part, the irrigation part. So in such kind of areas, the civil engineers are required for cleaning the waters, sewerage. All such things are linked with civil engineering. Civil engineering is also required in geotechnical part. That is, geotechnical engineers analyze the properties of soil and rock to determine engineering properties. It includes the projects such as tunnels, foundations, offshore platforms, etc. In the pictures, you can see how this geotechnical engineers, how they can work upon the sites. Then we have water resources, like engineers design, supervise, and evaluate systems for controlling, storing, moving, and conservation of water. So, all such tasks or projects which are related to water, whether it is the supplying of water, whether it's the flow of water in the agriculture area, whether it's the irrigation or treatment of water. So, we have the engineers in this area too. We have the civil engineers in transportation areas also, like transportation engineers design, supervise, and evaluate systems for moving people, goods, and materials safely and efficiently. Now, as you can see in the pictures, the locomotives metro train is running on the bridge. So this bridges can only be formed with the help of civil engineers. For constructional part, as we all know, we construct our houses, buildings, malls, etc. So this all constructional part, this can only be done with the help of civil engineering students. Urban planning, the planning of the societies, big cities, urban plannings, this all can also be accomplished with the help of civil engineering only. The big parks, recreational areas, these are all the types of areas where the civil engineers are required to work upon. Now, these are some of the labs which we have in civil engineering in our Gian Jyoti campus. We have constructional analysis lab. As we have discussed the different fields of civil engineering, so depending on the areas, we have a specific lab allotted to that particular civil engineering. That is structural lab, fluid mechanics lab, geotechnical lab, concrete lab. These are some of the live areas, or you can say visits, on which the students work upon for as an civil engineering. So we are supposed to take to the students actually to the real sites where the constructions and area marking is to be done. These are some of the marvels, of civil engineering. You all might have seen Taj Mahal, so it is a good example of civil engineering. Then we have a big bridge in Beijing, a big tower. Then we have another type of the bridges on which the transportation is being done, cars move on, that is located in Tokyo. It's also the good example of civil engineering. This is the indoor stadium. This is also designed by one of the civil engineer. Then we have indoor museum. As you can all see, it is also designed by one of the very good civil engineer. Dams, metro stations. Then we have Burj Khalifa in Dubai. You all must be aware about Burj Khalifa in Dubai. It's again the very good example of civil engineering. So that's we come up with the end of presentation. Now, as you have seen, I have discussed all the streams of engineering. I have discussed all these streams because the student might know before opting the particular stream what is that particular stream all about, so you can match your interest with the job profile of that particular stream, and then only you should opt your stream in case of engineering. Now I also have some of the videos related to the engineering, but I'll be sharing one or two videos with you.
Definitely, ma'am.
This is the video for civil engineering. Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible. That was really awesome, ma'am. That was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to talk to students. Like, if they've seen the video of civil engineering, they all might be thinking, wow, that's, the appreciable hard work of civil engineers. So I'll definitely opt for civil engineers. Students might think that. But I have many such videos of related to other streams like electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, electronics engineering. When the students will see that video, they will think like, wow, we'll opt for that particular stream. So, every stream, I mean to say that, or I conclude that every stream of engineering is equivalent to the other. You know, with the one stream, the other stream is connected anyhow. Without
That's,
it,
that's
with one stream, the other streams are incomplete. So it is a, you can say, a integration or combination of all sort of engineering which we use in our day to day life. It's just that the student should specifically or generally select the stream depending on the interest or the factors which I've already shown in the presentation. Thank you
exactly.
so much,
That's
ma'am.
true. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I thank you for showing such a wonderful presentation and such a comprehensive review of all the engineering fields, the factors required, the job prospects. This is by far, I think, the most comprehensive, detailed description about engineering. And this will really help the students who know what each field does, but really, they don't understand what factors are involved, what kind of job specifically to each field is involved. And of course, you rightly said that the fields are related to each other, but still there are some specifics to each field that they are.
Right.
So, I am sure the students will have really motivated by this presentation, this webinar of yours, and they will be they will be eager to come to Gian Jyoti for admission in engineering field, and it will be very easy for them to make up their mind. Thank you so much for your time and this wonderful presentation. And I thank all the audience for viewing this webinar. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay.
Have a good day. Thanks.